Hey, Laura here again with This Neogenian Life. I have a very short story to tell you tonight about 4th of July when I was in my early 20s. Now, it's about a quarter to midnight, so as I'm filming this, I'm on the west coast of the U.S., so it's already after midnight in most of the United States. So I wanted to get this out earlier today. I did film it earlier, and it just was so full of things that weren't right. So I was trying to edit it, and I spent hours messing with it and readjusting it, and I just decided it was just better to do it all over again. So you may hear a little bit of fireworks in the background because I heard some just a minute ago before I started this. People still set them off sometimes this time of night. So, this little story, oh, I heard some. Anyway, hopefully there won't be any close enough to be loud enough to interfere with this video. So, my boyfriend and I, when I was in my early 20s, about 22, maybe 23, we decided to go to the fireworks at a little town that he was raised in that had a lake nearby. And so we went to the town to watch the fireworks, and it was foggy that night, really, really foggy. And I had never seen fireworks in the fog, but we decided, we'd see what would happen. And we were hoping the fog would maybe clear, which is pretty much a pipe dream at that time of night, after it gets dark enough to do fireworks. But we thought maybe. Anyway, so we go to the fireworks, and they're going off up in the air, and they're just beautiful pastel colors. I'd never seen pastel fireworks before. It really was kind of cool. And so here we're watching these pastel fireworks, but they were kind of cool. It was kind of interesting to see what would happen next, with the colors and all that. So there were a lot of tourists around. Tourists don't like to come to the Oregon coast in the wintertime, so they come in the summer, which I don't blame them. In the wintertime, there's a lot of rain and cold weather and wind, and it's just nasty. So a lot of tourists around. And we're watching these pastel fireworks, and everybody's oohing and awing and saying, oh, there's one, oh, did you see that one? And then all of a sudden we hear this big boom. And my boyfriend and I looked at each other, and one of us said, was that thunder? And about that time there was a big bright flash in the sky of lightning. And so then everybody started clapping, everybody but us. All of the tourists were clapping. Oh, that was a good one. That was great. That was a good one. And we're looking at each other kind of like, And so we kind of started getting a kick out of that. And every time the thunder hit and the lightning came flashing up in the sky, everybody would start clapping, all of the tourists. So we thought that was pretty funny. And then a drop of rain came, and another drop, and a few more drops, and a bunch of drops. But they weren't too big, and the tourists just began to kind of dissipate. 1, 2, maybe 3 at a time. They just disappeared off to their cars. I think they figured out it was a storm coming. So we stuck it out as long as we could and watched the fireworks, the pastel fireworks, heard the thunder, saw the lightning, the pastel lightning flash, although it wasn't very pastel. Anyway, so we did that, and then, after a while, it was starting to rain harder and harder, and we decided we'd had enough too. Even though Oregonians don't melt in the rain, but, it was late, we were tired. So we left. So that was kind of a funny story about fireworks back when I was that age. So I can have a lot to say about fireworks because I don't care for them so much anymore, because I always thought of this before, but even more, the older I get, I think about the animals, not only the domestic animals, but the wild animals, how all that noise and stink in the sky, the smell isn't good, the smoke and the the flashing and all that, how that must affect them. And then I know it doesn't have a good effect on a lot of war veterans and other people who just have problems with it. So in that light, I've gotten so I just really don't care for fireworks anymore. And I've seen them, you know, enough times in my life too, I guess, that they're much different now, I know, than they were then. So there really are some beautiful ones, but I think, I don't know. My personal opinion is I think we could do without them. But that's neither here nor there, and that is not the special message that I want to give you. The special message I want to give you is a poem that I wrote. And it happened because I did an AI image on Starry AI today that I really liked, and it inspired this poem, and I wrote this poem. So, you know, sometimes poems take me days, weeks, a lot of time to write because I keep going back to them and refining them. This one, I kind of like it just the way it is, and I'm glad because it's apropos for the day. So, in light of recent developments in my country, in light of many things that are going on, I think you'll understand why this poem is so relevant. Not just for 4th of July, but for this time and period in our history. So, without further ado, oh, I gotta find it. Oh, yep, I wrote it on paper so that I could read it to you. So I'm going to read it, and by the way, while I'm reading it, you won't see my face because up on the screen I'm going to put the image that I did in the AI image I did. So without further ado, here is the poem. There was a nation. There once was a nation, strong and free, forged in the fires of hopes and sacrifice, established on liberty and justice for all. That is, until freedoms began to fall. Greed and lust for power, tyranny and betrayal reigned. People were blinded by illusions and lies, like deer in the headlights with blinded eyes. One by the wayside, freedoms waned, replaced with cages and fences, while a dictator reigned. People distracted by what was before them, family members' dynamics disjointed. One pitted against one another, left wondering what happened. How did we get here, they asked, and the ones who knew had nothing to answer that hadn't already been said. Food for thought, people.